I want to create someone who has everything together or thinks they have everything together, and they've just hit this moment where they're bottoming out. They put all this pressure on this one thing, and it's not what they thought it was going to be. It's all fallen through, and the resiliency that it then takes to get back up and go on. In this actual scene, from what I can see, nothing like crazy or scary theoretically is written in, but I remember you said something like, we still have to know you're in a horror film. So I want to make sure that I can capture what they want and the breakdown, plus have them know that I'm in a horror film if they didn't know I was auditioning for them, and then bring what I want to bring to the table and make sure it's not all muddled. Does that make sense? I was talking to you about how it's kind of like my little epiphany. Oh, cinematic acting is more of an introverted performance medium. So then I was thinking about that more over the week, and it just reminded me it's like, at least in my opinion, of where I think it should be going. It's like being in a room full of people, but being entirely alone. So then what does that mean? So it's like you're of this world, but not part of it. It's like you're always watching this. So there's some detachment, because I just default, I see a Zoom full of people and I go into performance mode, and I want to not do that. I want to be entirely alone. And I was watching this one actress, and I was like, this is really interesting. This is not a soap opera, but this actress is playing this character very much like the stereotypical, it's always a raven-haired actress who's kind of the one that goes in there and stirs the pot. So that's what I was thinking today that I wanted to bring to this, that type of character. I really liked the last class when you were having us focus on the voice, I think was the opening
Mhm.
cinematic technique. Uh, and the reason why I like it is because I feel like it helps me, Chelsea, not to think so much. To me, it reminds me of like if you're trying to tune the radio, or like if you're a sound engineer and you're like, no, a little bit more bass here, a little bit more treble there. So that's what I've been working on. It feels like it gives me my power back as far as being able to craft it the way I want. This is from Chicago PD. I'm not trying to copy the actress that did it, but when she did it, I thought, oh, she's like a bratty teenager, regardless if that's what the actual actress was doing. So I wanted to work on essentially speaking through the mask, but the my solo take last time after I did it from last class, you said great take, but like slightly release your mouth, because for whatever reason I have a tendency to put tension there. So that's kind of what I wanted to work on.
What do you mean by stirs the pot?
Um, okay, so I've never really watched Days of Our Lives, but you know how in soap operas when each actor is introduced as their character when the opening song is playing, and the woman who's I feel like stereotypically it's usually a woman in her 40s, and she's like the bitch of the crew, and it's always you just know that she's there to make trouble. She's not, she's the one who's like sleeping with somebody else's husband or is conniving, manipulative. I'm drawing a blank on other adjectives right now.
I got
But
it.
she's not there to make nice. She always has an agenda. She's always there to serve
Okay.
her own
So,
best
right,
interests.
great.
I didn't have this realization in the moment, but I just remembered that everything I do is very, and because I am a very extroverted person, but my body language is very extroverted. And I just, after the opening round, I was like, wait, you got to bring it back in. For me, acting on film feels like what an introverted medium. So I just took that reminder to myself to see if that would change anything for this round.
What is she experiencing?
Word that comes to mind for me is pensive, and I keep seeing, like, if it was an animal, it reminds me of like an alligator or crocodile, where they're just kind of like going along on the surface and then they could snap at any moment.